What's up, family? So first and foremost, I just want to say really appreciate the response on the last vlog. Super hype with how you guys received it and kind of enjoyed it. So definitely going to keep the train rolling, and it's actually a day off for me today. So I've been previewing all over my Instagram that I've been wanting to start a podcast for the channel. And I think that's finally, well, I don't think it is finally reality. I recorded my first episode last night, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to walk you through the set that I have going on for it, because I put it together on like a super budget. I'm big into thrifting. Like if anybody that knows me outside of YouTube and stuff knows, like everything in my house, like that shelf, these prints on the wall, all this stuff, like I am a thrifting maniac. I love to thrift stuff, and I love to find new, cool, and affordable ways to kind of make my house a home. And I applied that to the podcast area. So I'll kind of walk you through it and show you what I got going on. I'm actually just using a spare bedroom that I'm doing nothing with right now. Kind of perks of living alone. This room has just been sitting and used for storage otherwise. So I ended up kind of turning it into a dedicated podcast studio. I didn't really want to use my office for this just because I'm really trying to leave my office for my main type of videos on the channel, along with just being a workspace. I wanted to lock in and kind of dial in a cool podcast area. And first and foremost, we've got this bench right here. Picked this up on Facebook Marketplace for $50. And it's a little beat up, like it's not in the best shape, but on camera, it does look really good. And it has these really cool kind of storage areas in the seats, so that when I'm not podcasting, I can take off this arm, I can take everything off and put it in the storage. And I can kind of use this as a hangout area as I flesh this room out more. I kind of want to create maybe like a green room environment, maybe put some chairs right here, a table with some snacks on it to make guests and stuff comfortable eventually and all that. So I got the bench from Marketplace. The gear is stuff I've already had. Like this is just an InnoGear arm that I got on Amazon. And this is the Audio-Technica 875R. It's like just a basic shotgun mic. I don't have another mic. So I've got like wireless DJIs and stuff, but as far as like a podcast worthy mic, that's really all I have. So it's what we're rolling with. And it honestly sounds really good. It's obviously a microphone meant for dialogue. So I think it's turning out really great. And the shelf right here, I picked up from Goodwill for like $3. And both of the Polaroids I thrifted as well. I got the Spectra at a yard sale back in the day for like 15 bucks. And I got this at a local thrift shop for $2. Both of them are in working order, so that's really cool that they can be actually used. And this is a poster that I already had that I got in Charlotte. And then I've got this little toy camcorder right here. It's just a Fisher-Price toy, like for babies. And I had this when I was a kid, actually. And this isn't the same one, but my brother a couple Christmases ago got this for me. And I've used it in a lot of my videos. I've used it in a lot of my branding and stuff. I really love that. And then I just got some VHSs that I thrifted to pay homage to the classics, to kind of show my love for film and everything in this field. So that's kind of the main set. And as far as lighting and cameras, I'm rolling FX6 just because I can send XLR straight into the camera. And I just wanted it to be as simple and seamless as possible. I am shooting 1080 for this, but I'm still shooting 10-bit S-Log. I'm color grading it. And as far as the lighting, I typically film when it's dark out, or I'm going to typically film when it's dark out. So this lighting is interfering with this a little bit right now, and I could compensate. It's not a huge deal if I ever did need to film in the day, but I'm going extreme bare bones for the lights. Y'all know that on this channel, I love umbrellas. I think that they are just as good in a lot of scenarios as a softbox. I think the point of diminishing returns and everything applies a lot with diffusion and stuff, especially with a podcast. It'd be different if it was like a Netflix interview, but we want to keep it simple and easy to set up and easy to tear down. So I've got the Amaran P60Cs. I've got this one on like 80% at daylight, and it's just diffused by the umbrella. And then I've got this one at like 3200 Kelvin at like 35%. And that one's kind of simulating like lamplight hitting me. And I thought it looked pretty good. I might play with the lighting more. This is going to be an evolving thing as I continue with the podcast, and I kind of explained that in the first episode. But I'll throw a frame up on the video of what this is looking like. And I'm actually super happy with it. I really like how it's coming out. I think it looks nice and cozy. And as I continue to kind of flesh this room out, it's just going to get better and better and better. And you already know I was going to segue into some shameless promo. Part of the reason why I showed you this podcast studio is because the first episode of my podcast, The Eli Effect, drops this Saturday, February 24th. And a podcast is something I've been wanting to do for so long at this point, and I just haven't had the chest to do it. I just haven't had the confidence. And I did it. I recorded my first episode last night, got it edited and everything, and it was so fun. Like, I think that I thrive in just this free-flowing kind of rambling space. Like, if you've watched my videos, you know I love to talk. I love to go off on rabbit trails about things. I'm really excited about this podcast. I think it's going to be great for those that are looking to get into freelance, those that are looking to learn more about what I do, and just those that are looking to talk shop and hear about cool things. Like, I'm going to talk about things all across the map. I'll talk about thrifting more in the podcast as well, and just kind of lifestyle stuff. I don't want it to be all business. I want it to be a little bit of everything. I think that's what podcasts are good for. I think that you can really show off your personality and share your heart a little bit with those. So that's kind of the lane I want to be in with the podcast. I'm definitely still figuring out the format as I go. I'm still learning. I'm still getting more comfortable in that type of format on camera. So bear with me. First episode's pretty good though. I got it all edited. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to have a lot of gems in it for people that are on the fence about freelance or just doing entrepreneurial things in general. I think there's a lot of gems of wisdom in there, and I'm super hyped. So be on the lookout for the Eli Effect first episode on February 24th, Saturday. I'll explain what the Eli Effect name means in that episode. While we're at it as well, I'll go ahead and just show you my office. I've done a lot of thrifted stuff in here, and I think it looks good in videos that I've filmed. First of all, these two cabinets. These were part of an old entertainment center with like a middle piece that went right here, but it was old. It was small and meant for like smaller TVs from back in the day. And fortunately, these two units were standalone and could be used without that piece. So that other piece is just sitting in my garage. I paid $125 for the whole set. And these are just super nice. These are like glass face cabinets. They're heavy. I put all kinds of gear in here. And I've got just all kinds of things all over the mat. They have cool areas for like showing things off. They're a little messy right now, but... And then like these shelves I thrifted for $1 a piece, and I thrifted both of the cameras. I'm showing off a lot of the cameras in the house. That's kind of what I want the theme to be. And then this was an artwork painted by a friend of mine that I've held very near and dear over the years. And just as far as like decorating a set and stuff, just think out of the box sometimes. Like, take things that you already have. Like, these are tags from shows that I've worked, from like things that I've traveled all over the country for, and that's kind of cool. It just kind of tells a story as well as being decor. And then I'll find funny pieces at the thrift. Like, I shoot a lot of golf content. In 2023, I found myself just shooting so much golf stuff, and I found this cool like old school little golf banner thing for $2, so I hung that up. And probably my favorite decor in the room is these vintage ads that I have. I found these in Charlotte at an antique store for $5 a piece. And they're basically just like vintage auto ads. This is my favorite one of the bunch, the Ford. And then the Mustang one's super cool down there. And then same thing over here. I've got some vintage Polaroid ads. I really, really love this one. I was psyched when I found it. Found Bold and Brash at Goodwill for $2. So that was great. Found this gun rack for my shotguns at Goodwill. That was $5. And I really love this vintage ad as well. It's a guy like shaving his face in a Jeep mirror. And I love the scenery. I love the nature. This clock is super cool as well. Bought this at Goodwill for $4. And on the hour, it actually makes the noise of the corresponding bird. So not the flex or anything, but pretty cool. And then down here, I've got a little space heater. My dad upgraded his and gave this to me. And I pretty much only use it for the ambient kind of flame to make it cozy in here, give it like a lodge / cabin room kind of feel. I really like that old like wooden aesthetic, kind of old school 70s cabin feel. Eventually I'd maybe want to paint the walls in here and stuff, and I've also just got pins. I've got sentimental things like graduation tassels, anything that you have that can be like repurposed for your own sets that also can help tell your story is just really cool. Hopefully that gets the wheels turning for you on how you could potentially start building some cheaper film sets for either yourself or for your friends or clients or passion projects, whatever the case may be. Don't be afraid to put some personal touches on it, and typically it'll start, some people may get overwhelmed with this process, but I would say pick out a big piece and build around it. So like in this office, my standing desk that I already had and these two big cabinets were the only things originally in it. So I kind of built the aesthetic based off of that. And same thing with the podcast studio. I basically found the breakfast nook on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, okay, that immediately conveys a certain vibe. What else can I pair with it to kind of accentuate that vibe and bring it out? So hopefully that got the gears turning. And I encourage anybody to go out and thrift and repurpose things and just get the cool stuff for the cheap. And it's an ever long kind of process. Like, you got to keep going, you've got to keep looking. Thrifting can be very fruitless sometimes. You'll go to 5 Goodwills and won't find a single thing, and then next weekend you'll completely cash out and fill your truck bed with all kind of stuff. So definitely stick with it and you'll get some cool stuff. Peace.